Good morning, everyone. So, by a show of hands, who's awake today? A couple of you are awake already? Good. So I have questions for you guys. First of all, who is St. Paul? You got an answer? One of Jesus' apostles. We call him an apostle. Did he ever meet Jesus face to face before the resurrection or before he ascended? So he is an apostle, yes. We call him an apostle. It's a weird, but yes. Well, I'll take that answer. Never mind. We're not going to go into that right now, but yes. All right, what else? Who is Paul? He's a saint, yes. What else do we know about Paul? He's a saint, all right. What did he do? Before Jesus appeared to him, he persecuted a lot of Christians, right? Yeah, very good. What else did he do after his conversion? You know? Yes, he spread the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Very good. All right, so that was Paul's mission, right? To go to the entire world and spread the good news. What was Jesus' command in the gospel today? Was anyone paying attention? That was a very good, non-committal answer. I like it. So what was the commandment? Anyone remember? It was like the first sentence we heard in the gospel today. You know? That was one of the signs that he said, when you touch them, you'll be healed. That was one of the signs that Christ said would be a sign that they're a follower of Christ. But that's not a commandment. So the command that Christ gives in the gospel today is exactly what Paul did. Go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel. That's a commandment. That is something Christ told the 11 specifically, and then Paul later on. Who did he give this commandment to? Take away Paul for a second. Who are the 11 that we hear about in the gospel today? Normally the number is 12, if that helps. But today we hear about the 11. Anyone know who the 11 are? Oh, okay. The disciples, we had another name for them over here. No, I don't need all the names, just the apostles. So the 11 here, the commandment was given to the apostles to go to all the world and proclaim the good news of Jesus Christ. And so a lot of times that commandment, a lot of people take it to mean that that's just for the apostles, just for the bishops, just for the priests, maybe the deacons too, but that's not me. I don't need to do that. How many have thought that before? I know I have when I was young. I was like, oh no, that's for everybody else to do. That's never me. I'm not going to go tell people about Jesus Christ. It's me, and it's a personal thing. It's just me and Jesus. I don't need to worry about anything else. You've thought that before? Yeah, I know I have. It's a common thought. But the truth is, the commandment today in the gospel isn't a commandment just to the bishops and the priests and the apostles and the deacons and all the clergy. The commandment is to the entire church. Every single one of us. So, who here is baptized? I know there's a couple who aren't. I'm not trying to call you out or anything. Don't worry. So most of us are baptized. All of you who have been baptized, whether in the Catholic Church or not, this commandment is directly applicable to you. You are called to proclaim the good news of Jesus Christ to absolutely every creature in the world. That is your job. So, by a show of hands, who knew this was your job? A couple of you. Okay, good. So, sharing the gospel of Christ, sharing the good news that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior is not an easy task, especially in our world today where we're told that we should never talk about religion, not in polite company. That's not something you do. So we're afraid at times to actually go outside of that comfort zone and talk about Christ. It's hard, it is difficult, it is probably one of the most scary things you will ever do in your life, but that's exactly what Christ is calling us to do, commanding us even, telling us this is what we have to do. Now, I know you're young. I know you got a lot of years ahead of you. And so it's not like I'm expecting you to go turn to your friend right this second, like, hey, have you heard about Jesus Christ? But I am going to give you homework. And it's not, again, not to go and tell people, not yet. But first, we have to take a moment and think about what it is we would say to people if we were going to talk to them about Jesus Christ, which requires us to evaluate where we are, to think about our relationship with Christ in the tabernacle, on the altar, in other people. What does our relationship with Christ look like? How do we talk to him? What do we like about him? What do we know about him? What's the most important things about Christ that I would need to share with somebody else? It's hard. It's not easy, especially if you've never done it before. But your homework, and you can choose to ignore this homework if you want. I'm not going to come in and grade you on this. But there may or may not be candy involved on Friday when I come and visit your classroom, so take that into account. But I want you to think about it. What would you say to somebody? What are the most important parts of the faith that you would actually want to share with somebody? The good news of Jesus Christ. What is good and new about Christ that you can share with somebody else? Just think about it. You don't have to go out and tell anyone about it, but I want you to think about what that message would look like, how you would communicate that. Again, because it's not easy. And so there are little steps to get us to being disciples of Christ, to be like St. Paul and go out to all the world and convert people, to share the good news of Jesus Christ with them, so that it's attractive and there's a goodness that draws people to him. So we got to be open to that. And it starts with little steps. So again, your homework, again, candy may or may not be involved on Friday when I come visit your classrooms. Your homework is to think about what you would say. What are the important parts about sharing Jesus Christ? And if you get stuck, good thing you have teachers. In your classrooms, you can talk to about this. And parents at home, you can talk to about this. Good. So think about it, pray about it,